Welcome into a Thursday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show right here live from the UDL, brought to you daily by Go Chevrolet. Remember, online at GEAUXchevrolet.com, as you can find them online or you can find them out in LaPlace, Louisiana. You can find them right here in Baton Rouge. Brand new used car lot on the corner of Sherwood and Florida. Go Express Auto Sales, all of it online at Go Chevrolet, GEAUXchevrolet.com. Good morning, Jordy Culotta. Katie Alligood is here. We've got Noah in the house, and Lizzie's here. Still no Jack, as this transmission has turned into a new car. It seems
like it's total, dude.
Yeah, I mean, bro.
It's probably on us a little bit. We should have helped him out.
The
northern transplant trying to look around Baton Rouge and help himself with auto parts. We should have helped him out, but he did it on his own, and it's his fault.
It is. That's what it ends up at the Wiener Schnitzel on Highland.
Is that
asking
a real
about a
car
transmission?
place?
It could be.
It could be anything you want it to be.
But you're talking about the hot dog place, right?
Yes.
We all kept
Yes.
texting that, and I was like,
Yes.
like hot dog place? Or he's getting his car repaired?
That place is a great mystery.
Anything you want it to be.
I mean, it is like it's like a cockroach in a nuclear war. I mean, Highland Road has changed tremendously over the last 25 years. The one thing that has stayed constant is that Wiener Schnitzel.
A stalwart of Highland Road is the Wiener Schnitzel that's open 24/7.
Category
we have no
5
idea
hurricanes.
There.
Floods.
There.
Electricity.
Still here.
Snowing.
Still here.
Doesn't matter, man. Decades later.
If Jack really wants to get rid of his car, he should just park it there and leave the keys in it for about 5 minutes.
That transmission will be fixed real quick.
You'll lose the radio.
Oh, look at it. Going down the there it goes.
Throw the keys back to him. I hot-wired it, bud. We're good.
Remember, our coffee is brewed locally, and it is done Majestic Coffee down here in South Louisiana. If you want to taste it for yourself, hop online at DeliciousSips.com. We're also, we'll talk to Ben Mintz coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Mincy, of course, pushing and waving the flag for college baseball, is right now college baseball front and center, not only here in Baton Rouge, but in the sports landscape, is going into Super Regional Weekend. Omaha on the doorstep. We will talk to Mincy coming up here at some point on the Jordy Culotta Show. We will also check in with Will Wade over the next 2 hours, as Coach Wade has just got his morning group session started on workout, so he'll stop by here once those guys finish up. Should be around 8:15 or 8:30 this morning, but looking forward to our conversation with Coach Wade about what his early return has been on this roster overhaul. These 3 transfers. Sounds like LSU has hit on everyone, and we will get the head coach's point of view coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour. We will also talk to the hottest name in recruiting right
Easily.
now, at least in the Southeastern Conference.
Yes.
Yeah. At least in the SEC. Everybody is talking about Quency Wiggins. Wiggins is a former basketball standout at Madison Prep right here in Baton Rouge, who you heard the story yesterday from Shea Dixon a couple of years back. Jeff Jones, who's a very talented coach, looked at him and said, look, Quency, man, you're a good basketball player, but the offers aren't coming in like we thought they would here early on. And he still had some offers early on in his basketball career, but there's been a lot of feedback on what you would look like in pads. You might want to try out football. And one season later, he's got 32 offers with the entire SEC offering him. He goes to a couple of camps on the weekend. He was named the defensive standout at the LSU camp. He did the same thing in Alabama on Thursday before he got to Baton Rouge. So he is a lightning bolt right now in recruiting, no pun intended, coming from Madison Prep, the Chargers, as he is the name on the scene right now, and LSU is doing everything that they can to secure his commitment as soon as possible because, like we said, everybody in the country is knocking on his door. He put his top 5 out. Saw Texas and Miami in the mix alongside Alabama, Auburn, and LSU. So usual suspects at the top with Quency Wiggins. He can go anywhere he wants to. He could throw a dart at the United States of America. Wherever it lands, he could go to that state college. LSU wants to make sure he does not get out of Baton Rouge. We will ask him all about his recruiting, the transition from basketball to football. Where does football rank now as far as his love for sports? Because you talk to people close around him. I mean, he is a basketball hoophead. I mean, he's really his entire life thought he was going to be a basketball player, but he could be a first-round draft pick in the NFL in a couple of seasons if he gets this football thing figured out. By all accounts, he does. We will talk to him coming up here on
yeah,
the Jordy Culotta
I
show.
think he's transitioned to football because his Twitter, the pinned tweet has the 2025 NFL draft, and it was like number 1, 2025.
There you go.
Yeah, so I think he's
So
committed.
he's transitioned.
Yeah,
Hashtag goals.
right? Lofty,
Yes.
but almost
Attainable.
Attainable.
Easily.
Unreal.
For Quency Wiggins, a physical freak. And just by all accounts, talking to him short time last night with Coach Jones. Looking forward to our conversation. Really am. Just to kind of give us some insight on where he is and this process and what he anticipates moving forward. A lot of people obviously talking the story right here locally is what is going on with this LSU baseball job. And yesterday there was some news that was coming out on what was happening with Kevin O'Sullivan. And O'Sullivan was and seemingly was the top choice for this job, whether it be from the big money boosters or the administrators at LSU. I think they were trying to get the deal done with Kevin O'Sullivan as quiet and seamless as possible in this time in this window right here, where LSU's still playing, but when the season was to go final, whether it be on Monday, whether it be on Sunday, or whether it be 2 weeks from now, they would have had their guy in place with Kevin O'Sullivan. I think once that deal was put on paper and brought to the Board of Supervisors, I don't think this is once it went to the Board of Supervisors at LSU, it was rejected, and we told a little bit of why that rejection came down yesterday. But they have moved on from Kevin O'Sullivan, and they are now into what seems like the great wide open on this choice. Now, I don't say that from the decision maker standpoint. I'd imagine that Scott Woodward, Stephanie Remp, Verge Alsbury, and the power structure that is in play here making this choice has had a list and continues to work down that list. And one of the names that has popped over the last 12 hours has been former Oregon State head coach Pat Casey. In fact, one of the great insiders, one of the great minds of college baseball who covers it from a national standpoint, Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball, tweeted out last night that Scott Woodward is not messing around. Pat Casey rebuffed Texas a few seasons ago because of external factors. There are still some factors to overcome, but if this were the person who LSU could get, that this would be a big one. Rogers also tweeted before that that Pat Casey had emerged as the leading candidate for the LSU job. Casey, very highly regarded as far as a decorated coach in college baseball, was at Oregon State from 1995 through 2018 and won 3 national championships. He was also named the coach of the decade in the early 2000s, so 2000 through 2009, 2010, he was the coach of the decade. Since 2018, and I learned this yesterday, Casey's been in an administrative role at Oregon State in the athletic department. He's been a special assistant to the athletic director up there and been out of the dugout, and there have been some comments and some quotes that have come from Casey that give you some insight on life after baseball. And I think it was a lot of the same sentiments that Paul Mainieri tried to share on the doorstep of retirement a week ago tomorrow, when he made the announcement, or I guess it was a week ago today, when he made the announcement that he was retiring after a very storied career. He went on to admit, there will be days that I probably regret this decision, but in his heart and in his peace of mind of where he was, talking to the public last week, he was in a good place in the sense of it's over. It's in my heart, it's just, I'm not in it anymore. And there will be days that I regret stepping away from it. But all in all, this is the time and this is the move that has to happen. Pat Casey's got some comments and some quotes out there that's very similar to that. And the only difference in his comments is that Casey is retired and out of it, making a roundabout same type of gestures. There's a quote from Casey that says, "There are days that I am miserable and miss it. But all in all, I'm glad I'm away from it. And if Pat Casey is making that statement about being out of the dugout in Corvallis, Oregon, which I am not discounting, that is a beautiful town and have had tremendous success under Casey in college baseball. But if he felt the pressure and feels the relief of not being in the dugout in that program, then why in the hell at 62 would you even contemplate coming to Baton Rouge and stepping into this pressure cooker? Because it doesn't take too many phone calls for a guy like Pat Casey, who's got great relationships in the business of college baseball, where I'd imagine he's got a direct line to Skip Bertman. And somebody say, hey, man, what's the deal in this job? And somebody shoot him straight, where 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you are the LSU head baseball coach. It doesn't matter if you're at Wrigley Field watching the Cubs game with your kid. It doesn't matter if you're in Vegas throwing dice. It doesn't matter if you're sitting on a beach somewhere or if you're just out there recruiting. You are the LSU head baseball coach, and that comes with a built-in understanding and expectation that the entire state and fan base expect you to be in Omaha and winning national championships. And if Pat Casey, after so many years at Oregon State, 3 national championships, a hero in Corvallis, somebody would have to sell me really on why. Why do you want that challenge other than that it is the LSU head baseball job? And for somebody like Casey, who's a lifer, been in it for such a long time and has great experience, I'd imagine that the LSU job is the king of the hill. But at 62, I know that Kendall Rogers is reporting this. I know that there are people around the LSU media that are expecting Casey to take the job. I will not believe that Pat Casey is the LSU head baseball coach until he is introduced on campus with the hat on. Until then, I'm not believing that Pat Casey is a viable candidate for this job. I think it's an ultimate smokescreen. I think it could be a PR play. Don't forget, LSU is coming from public relations hell. They have been in a graveyard of public relations for a decade. Cannot get out of their own way. If it wasn't Joe Oliva screwing things up, it was F. King Alexander screwing things up. If it wasn't F. King Alexander screwing things up, it was Les Miles screwing things up. If it wasn't Les Miles screwing things up, it was the athletic administration screwing things up. It was just fumble after bumble after trip after fall after point after laugh after what the hell is going on at LSU? Continuously. Just public relation disaster after public relation disaster. And from a PR standpoint, there's some things that they're trying to navigate through, but ultimately, you've got to find the guy, and I think that this is a little bit of PR sportsmanship, gamesmanship for LSU or followed the program, just have not seen. This is a little bit of PR mystery. You know what I mean? This is a play that you can dangle a name out there and let's just see. What's the reaction? And you can find out quick. 48 hours later, 24 hours later, they ain't on board with Casey.
When did his name get put in the mix? Was it just yesterday?
Yesterday
it flew to the top.
Yeah.
Yesterday it flew to the top of the list.
Really quickly.
And that's why I like your idea of it being a smoke screen, just because right after the O'Sullivan thing happens, and they're like, well, let's float another name out there, because it does seem like Woodward's very much going down like a checklist. Mm-hmm. Like O'Sullivan, it seemed to be cut, deal signed, done. And then when all this comes out, it looks like not scramble mode, but a bit like, all right, who else can we put? Like, I have a list. I got to go back down my list. I had the first name scratched off, checked, checks in the mail. And now he's like, all right, well, that one didn't work.
Yeah.
Going down the list. So Pat Casey, if it's a smoke screen, buys them a good bit of time for them to, gives the fan base something to chew on, bitch about, whatever they want to do, while he's still operating behind the scenes and get something done.
Yeah.
I just don't know why 62 years old makes sense right now.
It doesn't.
And
I
hate to be age discriminatory, but I think that at this point especially of the LSU job is a young man's job. It is a young person's job, and that could be Cliff Godwin up at ECU, but I know that he's got some stuff that's going on with some Title IX issues. I don't think it's the same stuff that Kevin O'Sullivan's dealing with, but LSU is in a point right now where they have to have some buyers. You have to have some buyers awareness. You have to be aware of your own situation, but you can't be overly trying to play into that. You know what I mean? You can't worry about the getting it right from a public relations standpoint so much that you miss your guy. Right? Like, I think that the Cliff Godwin situation and the stuff that's surrounding him 3 years ago, there's no discussion on Godwin being the top candidate for this job and being probably the guy that's already got the gig.
It's just the timing.
But in today's climate, and especially in Baton Rouge with the
are.
stuff that is surrounding LSU that they've gone through over the last year, the last 3 years, and what potentially could be on the horizon coming up next, they are playing it very, very safe. And to me, at this point, the safest play is Mike Bianco. That is, to me, the safest play. I am still on board with Tony Vitello because, as I've said, this is a young man's game, and he embraces everything about the game that makes it advantage being a young guy. You know? I mean, in a perfect world, Andy Cannizaro should be getting this job. Andy Cannizaro should have Mississippi State a national contender. He took that job from LSU, and he should be handshaking deal behind the scenes, this deal done as soon as Mainieri was even rumored to be leaving LSU 2 months ago. But again, Cannizaro's in a situation where LSU publicly and from a PR standpoint, they can't touch him. They just can't do it. From the stuff that they're dealing with off the field and the stuff that's going on around their school, you just can't do that today.
Or do you think that they went O'Sullivan because of what he's been through, then you go Casey and his off-the-field things and on-the-field things, and then you go Cannizaro, kind of deadens the blow a little bit to where you went to, for what everybody's been through, like, well, what Cannizaro did isn't actually that bad in circumstance with the other coaches have been through.
In comparison, yeah.
Yeah, in comparison. So you kind of set the stage like, it's actually not that bad.
That's true.
I think you could get to that point.
I think we might be at that point.
And look, there could be a majority of the fan base, but the outspoken minority is the voice that they're listening to.
Often the loudest in the room.
Absolutely. And right now, LSU, that's the one that's getting the most. That's the one that's getting the most time at the table.
If they do bring in a Cannizaro or somebody like that, what do you think? I mean, I feel like Baton Rouge-wise, in Louisiana, the reaction would be through the roof. Like, it would be a overall positive
I think it would
from
be
the fan base. But then do you think that even gets national attention? I don't think it would.
No. I mean, let's say, for instance, that Mike Bianco takes the LSU job and Cliff Godwin is the Ole Miss replacement. Ole Miss wins that scenario.
100%.
I mean, LSU can't have that. LSU can't be looked at as some job that, I mean, they're the biggest job in the game. Yeah. They've got to get whoever they want. And at this point where they're going down a checklist and they're moving down the list because of, outlying circumstances that don't necessarily calculate into baseball, I don't know where this is going. That's why I think that the Pat Casey stuff to me makes no sense, makes zero sense. I mean, the guy's a very successful college baseball coach.
It's a great name to float.
I'm not discounting his resume. His resume is incredible.
Right.
But he's 62 years old. I mean, a lot of the feeling around this move for Mainieri is that the game is starting to pass him by. And Mainieri's been sitting on the top step of the dugout for the last 2 seasons. Casey hadn't even been around the game. And you want him to come down to Baton Rouge and coach this program right now when the expectation is get me back to the 90s? Restore order for LSU and make them a permanent power player in college baseball? And you want a guy at Pat Casey to lead that, where you're going to have another press conference 3 to 5 years from now. 3 years minimum, 5 years maximum is what I think you could pull out of Casey if you hired him today. I mean, so I'm not railing on it. I'm just telling you it doesn't make any sense for me, and I'm not going to believe it until he's got the hat on in the facility being introduced by Woodward. And I think behind the scenes, Woodward, man, he's a big game hunter. That's not behind the scenes stuff. That's his scouting report.
That's his resume.
I mean, when we break down Scott Woodward, his top byline is power player. He's hiring the big name.
Headhunter.
Kim Mulkey, Jimbo Fisher, Chris Peterson. I mean, go down the list of the guys or the people, the coaches that he's given opportunity to. And the people that he goes after once an opening goes vacant. Think about what he told us 3 weeks ago when we were so almost shocked that he was able to pull off the Kim Mulkey hire. He was like, guys, this is LSU. You should expect that. The fan base should expect that. He's attracting top talent because that's who he is, and he has shown throughout his career he's not scared to pay. So when the checkbook is open, everybody's listening. Everybody's listening. And Woodward knows that. And Woodward is that. And Pat Casey ain't the game that Scott Woodward hunts. Just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Is Godwin the only person that isn't surrounded by scandal, though?
He is.
In this situation?
He
Because
is.
Andy is, too.
No, Godwin is.
Oh, he is surrounded
They
by
have
scandal?
Title IX stuff happening at
So
East
there's
Carolina.
not one person
But it's,
then that-
he's not running around. He's not doing this stuff. Like,
Right.
I don't know this, but there's a cloud over him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There is a...
But nothing specific, like Andy
No.
with the
No.
texting the women
No.
and all that. Okay.
No.
In this day and age, that's the stuff that when you dig deep enough, you will find anything. You will find
Totally.
something. And I think that it comes to a point in time where if you're LSU athletic directors or LSU making LSU brass, you just have to be able to navigate that pushback. There's going to be pushback from whoever you bring in.
Yeah.
So you just have to be able to navigate how much can we actually withstand in terms of like the public pressure of the hire. Because once you make the hire, you can't fire him.
Right.
You know, like once you make your decision, that's the bed that you have to sleep in.
Right.
So it's just all about navigating how much you're going to be able to get back, because the Pat Casey, he got a lot of pushback. And then now if you bring in Canizero, there will be similar pushback.
Yeah, there will.
So it's just all about trying to navigate kind of that arena and figure out, like, all right, what Bianco, there's no pushback in terms of off the field.
Safest play.
Safest play. That's a
Safest
single
play.
up the middle.
Yep.
Could it be
Absolutely.
a short-term hire? Like, if they consider that at all, could this be like an interim thing, and then there's an assistant, and then he hands it over? Like, is that
I
an
would
option?
say that the only thought for Paul Casey is that it's LSU is in win
yeah.
now mode. He comes in, it's like, all right, let me get the best out of let me get the best out of Cruz,
Let them
Trey
gr-
Morgan,
let them
Thompson.
graduate, and then
get all of the studs,
Yeah.
because he knows how to win national championships.
Right.
You put them absolutely.
Right.
He turns this thing into a factory for 3 years, and then grooms a replacement.
Yeah.
There have been other names that have popped up. Tim Corbin, his name at Vanderbilt. Now, that makes sense. Like, that is Scott Woodward game to me, right? I mean, Vanderbilt, when you think of college baseball right now, you can't get past two programs without thinking of Vanderbilt being at the top of the sport right now. And now they have some built-in advantages of being a private school and private money that they can offer in scholarships. But when you think of Vanderbilt baseball and you think of Tim Corbin, a lot of people represent that with the best that's happening right now in the game. That's who Scott Woodward wants to talk to. Kevin O'Sullivan has a reputation on the field, in baseball, best pitching coach in the game, is able to really recruit it at a high level, retain a roster, be a national contender year in, year out. Makes a ton of sense for Woodward to be knocking on his door when there's a vacancy. There's been not enough discussion about Tony Vitello that makes me believe that there is discussion happening with him behind the scenes, because he's just too talented of a young baseball coach not to at least pick up the phone and see what the move is. And maybe after you have that conversation, you say, you know what? Let me give Pat Casey a chance here for 3 to 5 years and see if Vitello can't get it straight and get a little bit more experience on the resume and see if he can't accomplish something like a SEC title or a national championship game appearance, something like that to put on his resume where I can come back and it makes more sense and comfortable to me and the money guys that we can get this deal done with a younger, more forward-thinking type coach than we had last time when it opened up.
I think you have to snag Vitello now if you're going to get him, because Tennessee is throwing the woodshed at him. They're promising new facilities, a massive contract, all of these things that you want if you're 43 years old. And then if you take Vitello and bring him to LSU, you absolutely knock Tennessee out of the SEC in terms of competition for baseball. So you kill two birds with one stone. You get your guy, and you take away what looks to be a perennial player in college baseball for the foreseeable future. So I say snag him and deal with it.
Me too. I mean, he has a very Will Wade feel.
That's what yes.
You know what I mean?
That's what Tennessee's doing with him is what LSU needs to do with Wade.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to give you facilities. We're going to give you an extension,
pay
more
you
money. We're going to
the contract,
trying
the
to keep
facilities.
him here because they know how the game is moving.
Yes.
And it's kind of like Duke. LSU needs to do what Duke is doing. Long-term coaches. We go from Bertman for 17 years to Mainieri for 15. Don't go Casey for 5.
Right. Well, I mean, nobody remembers built in between Bertman and Mainieri was Smoke Laval.
Right.
You know
he was supposed to be the guy.
And people were ready to burn it down.
Right.
I mean, they had to make a move. That's when that's when Skip stepped in. I mean, Skip was the AD at this time. And Smoke Laval was his hand-picked successor. I mean, Skip chose that guy. So, I mean, it had to be a very difficult conversation to go in there and not, hey, man, I know I gave you this chance. Now I have to take it away from you because it's just not working out. And Skip had to go out and find. And in that process, he interviewed Corbin.
Yeah.
He interviewed Corbin at Vanderbilt.
Skip could have picked Joe Torre to replace him, and he would have been a bust. Like, there was but that job everybody wants to be the LSU baseball coach, but nobody wants to follow up Skip Bertman. There was nobody on planet Earth that could have done a better job than Skip. You can't follow it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Smoke, I'm sure Skip told Smoke, like, look, dude, this is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. Like, no matter what you do.
I think Smoke probably
That's
knew
what I'm
that.
saying. He took the job with that in mind.
It'll be interesting. I know that there are names coming out. The Louisville head coach who we spoke about, Cliff Godwin. Cliff Godwin, to me, Godwin checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
He really does. He's got a great resume. I didn't know his resume was that good.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at his resume, he's been at LSU. He's been at Ole Miss. I believe he was at Virginia.
And he's hungry.
He's hungry. He's head coach that is motivated.
Yeah.
He's young. He's 43 years old. And, I think that he was probably the second choice on the list behind O'Sullivan. And then when they saw what the feedback was on O'Sullivan, they were probably thinking, I don't know if we can go pitch this again.
Right.
I mean, what if you get rejected twice in a week for the LSU head baseball coaching gig? They're moving down the list, right? Yeah. I mean, they're slowly moving down a list that I don't know if they anticipated that they would get this far down, going into this search, just because of what you're selling. I mean, you're selling the most prestigious job in the sport if you get it right. If you come here and you can, and not that it's far off the tracks, but if you can just keep this thing moving and throw a couple of extra steam into the engine.
Like what Vitello, what needs to happen is LSU baseball needs to wake up. Alex Box needs to wake up, needs to have a fire lit. And when you look at Vitello and Godwin, that's kind of that. They're both hungry, and then you look at Vitello running into the huddle and running through the stands with the fan. That's exactly what the box needs.
Just such a shot of life, it feels like, because I love Paul to death, but we got a guy on the top step that can't turn his neck.
Right.
And so this is an absolute 180 turn to where LSU baseball needs to be, because you see the environment in college everywhere is changing. College football has gotten younger. College baseball is getting younger. College basketball 100% is getting younger. Right. And it's the interaction with the fan base, especially now after COVID. People are dying to go out and do something. So you kind of have to capitalize on that momentum.
Daily, we're brought to you by AdvantaClean. Remember, online at advantaclean.com, AdvantaClean. Get in touch with AdvantaClean for the AdvantaClean experience. If you smell water, fire, or mold, if you see water damage, see mold damage, see fire or smoke damage around your house, office, get in touch with Bradley Lynch over at AdvantaClean. Easy to get in touch with him online at ADVANTA clean.com, AdvantaClean.com. They're located right here in Baton Rouge and Industrialplex. So many success stories. If you've been affected by the flood, but if those days have come and gone and now you've got some damage around the house or office that needs some attention, that deals with water, fire, or mold damage, AdvantaClean is the stop for you. This is a firsthand testimony of Lynch and his crew and what they can bring to your home and office and getting you set up and getting you back right. Look, it's not a good time. It's not anything that you want to go through, but if you go through it, you want to make sure that AdvantaClean is on your side. So get in touch with Bradley Lynch at AdvantaClean, ADVANTA, clean.com. A lot of interaction here on the LSU baseball hire as people are inside of the bunker. We appreciate everybody for interacting. Make sure you like and share all of the comments, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook. We appreciate you being at JordyCulottaShow.com.
Should we make a poll on,
Don't forget
Twitter?
on the merchandise. Yeah, probably a good day for a poll.
Good.
What are the choices you would say? I think you can do 4.
Pat Casey obviously would be one.
Godwin,
Cliff Godwin.
Andy.
Did you throw Canizero in there?
Just for fun. I mean, just to see
And then Vitello.
how much people want him.
I think Bianco has to be in there also.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think you would
yeah.
probably take Godwin out.
Can we only do 4?
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
take Godwin out and put Bianco in. So that would be
Casey, Bianco, Vitello,
Canizzoli.
you know, she,
Canizero,
Canizzaro. Did I say Canizzoli? Andy.
Italiano,
you know what you should put other.
other. Oh yeah, that's all encompassing.
So Casey,
and-
Bianco, Vitello, other.
And have people you know, if you vote other, give us your candidate
Yeah.
because I think it's that open.
It sounds like a bunch of Italians. Bianco, Vitello.
Great party.
Canizzoli.
Great party.
Great
yeah.
party.
Sounds about right.
Right.
No wonder this deal's hard to get done,
I
dude.
love it. I mean, if Canizero, it's such.
It would be so seamless, dude. It would have
Oh
been perfect.
gosh,
Yeah.
You don't think he's kicking himself right now?
Yes, I know he is. I absolutely know he is, man.
Call him.
I mean, it is to think about. You know, I'm sick in my seat. I can't imagine being in that chair, knowing the opportunity that he would have, because it would be his gig.
Without a doubt.
It would be his gig.
It's a home run.
And hopefully he could get his, he could get back into that level and give himself an opportunity to get back to that type of chair, to get to that type of seat.
He totally could.
Yeah,
It's
he
just
could.
a shame that.
Well, maybe that's what it is. You do KC for 4 years, and then Canizero's ready to pop.
Possibly.
Do you grovel enough to call LSU? I would. I would swallow my
Andy?
pride. Yeah.
Hell yes.
Okay.
100%. 100%. And I'm making that call. No representation is calling for me.
drive
and
there.
you know what? I'm bringing them a handwritten letter. I'm picking up the phone. I'm calling money guys. I'm calling alumni. I'm calling boosters because, I mean, I know Andy Canizero personally. That cat has got more energy and motivation in him before all this stuff happened. And to where he is now, he is a caged animal.
Fontenot in the bullpen.
Fontenot in the bullpen. He is the meme of Fontenot in the bullpen of give me my next chance. Also with the mindset of humble in the fact of I screwed up. I'm accountable. I messed up royally. I screwed up a golden opportunity for me and my family that I will never forgive myself for. And it's not as dire. It's not a situation that sets you back from legally any type of ramifications. All it is a PR hump or hurdle that a decision maker and an athletic director and a president of the university have to sign off on.
Yeah,
And once you sit across the desk from him and you understand his contrite, his regret, his learning from that situation and what it has taught him about the respect for the game and respect for everything that goes into having a career like that, he's ready. It's time, but somebody has to make that decision.
Is he in the mix, or did we just bring this up? Has it even been talked about, or is this because we started talking about it?
No, I guarantee you his name has been brought up behind closed doors.
But it hasn't been, put out there.
Not to the public,
Okay.
but they're talking about him.
They've kicked the
and
tires.
I think that there is a scenario that makes sense when you could possibly place him as a hitting coach again.
Right.
Put him back on the recruiting trail and see that the kids don't give a damn about what he's been through and they're still committing to him.
It's 2 weeks of bullshit that you go through, then it's over. Like, it gets brought up every once in a while during a super regional.
right.
They run a Dick Vitale graphic on you, and then it goes away.
That's right. That's right. All right, Quency Wiggins is just out of workout. He's texting us, letting us know that it is time to get him on. We will come back and talk to the hottest player in college football recruiting right now, especially in the SEC. All you have to do is click on a Southeastern Conference message board from any of the 14 cities and see that everybody is talking about Quency Wiggins. He is from Baton Rouge, from Madison Prep. He'll be here next on the Jordy Culotta Show. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy@JordyCulottaShow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@JordyCulottaShow.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Welcome back into the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet every day here. GEAUXChevrolet.com. Check out the crew online. Brand new used car lot over on Florida Boulevard in Sherwood Forest with the new lot out in LaPlace, Louisiana. Check them out online, GEAUXChevrolet.com. Recruiting is in full swing for college football, and everybody is getting back on campuses. Prospects are taking official visits, unofficial visits. Coaches are meeting with players face-to-face. They're working them out one-on-one. And there is not a name in the country right now that is hotter than the Baton Rouge native and the Baton Rouge prospect in Quency Wiggins. If you have not seen the video of Wiggins and Campbell going, and Will Campbell, Quency Wiggins out of Madison Prep here in Baton Rouge, and Will Campbell, the five-star offensive tackle out of Neville, going one-on-one at each other in just helmets on Saturday. You could have charged admission for this. Everybody in the country is asking, how can they get Wiggins on campus and have him a part of their class? LSU obviously is at the front of the line, making sure that they get the message in the most, and Wiggins is joining us now here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Big fella, good morning, man. How are you?
What's up, Coach? I'm good. How about you?
Hell yes. Listen to this guy, man. Ready for it. How exciting is this time in your life, man? I'd imagine that you feel what we are talking about. The entire college football world is talking about Quency Wiggins. What is it like from your point of view right now?
It's all kind of new. You know, me coming from basketball, I didn't have any of this. and coming to football, it's like, everybody wants some attention from him. It feels good. At the same time, it's humbling, though.
What was the choice around basketball to football? I know your head basketball coach, Jeff Jones, and he is as successful as a coach as our state has. And by the way, thoughts and prayers with Coach Jones, as he was in a vehicle accident a couple of days. He's okay back at home, but a very scary scene for Coach. But it looks like he'll be fine. What was the decision for you in transitioning from basketball to football? Because I mean, you have both sports body. You know what I mean? Like, you could be very successful as a basketball player, but you might be a top 10 pick as a football player. What made you think about that transition over a year ago?
Well, Coach Jones told me if I didn't play good my sophomore year, he was going to throw me on the football field.
That's like sophomore year didn't go great.
Yeah. But by halfway through the season, I kind of came around to it myself. I wanted to play on my own. And, the first interaction I had with the college coach was with Kentucky. They were here to offer Tyrell Raby. And he seen me and was like, "Who's that kid?" I didn't play football. We just had a long conversation, and that let me know I can play football. That's like the first interaction with a college coach ever.
Quency, you never played football until last year?
I played a little pee-wee ball and a little bit of middle school, but I didn't play. I didn't play in high school until this year.
You just didn't have the love for it. You just basketball first.
Yeah, but it kind of died down when I started playing football. It kind of went away.
What is being a basketball player first help you in football? How does those games, how does that skill set, whether it be footwork or hand placement, how does that help you as a football player?
Help me with the way I move. A lot of big dudes who were just playing football kind of slow, not have good feet, just can't move. It just gave me the agility I needed to be a different type of player. Me being tall, athletic, big, it just gave me the extra boost I needed. I can beat a lot of guys that's my size with speed. And, playing for Coach Jones is not easy. He
sure,
definitely works.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, look, you guys don't have the best program in the state for nothing. You know what I mean? I know that there's a ton of hard work going into that. And, Madison Prep, in Scotlandville, y'all are the two kings of the class when it comes to thoughts on basketball. And football, y'all are right there. What has been this transition from football been like to you at a school like Madison Prep that has so much pride in that sport?
It was kind of easy. The players kind of been begging me to play.
I bet.
Except for the other defensive end.
Yeah. He'll come, I'll see him down the hall. He'll be like, "We have a spot on the roster for you." I just look at him. Around last year I told him I was serious, but this time. So, and it was playing football for Madison isn't easy. We get here at like 5:30 a.m. for work. And after that, we just, it's just not easy playing for that.
Sure.
But I was already kind of used to it because playing for Coach Jones is even worse. So it wasn't really as bad. I was already in shape. It was just me learning the game, me learning what to do and what not to do.
What's the last week of your life been like? You've been in front of Nick Saban's face. You have been in front of Lane Kiffin's face. You've been in front of Ed Ogeron's face. And all of them are telling you how much they love you and how much they want you. What has that been like for you?
It's been amazing, Coach. For me to finally get out and look at these schools, this whole month's been great so far. I'm enjoying this process. I'm still maintaining my work effort and working out every day and stuff. But it's been pretty cool. Being able to be coached by these guys so they can see me in person, coach me in person, and see how I really am, see it for themselves.
Absolutely. What about this process do you want to happen? How do you want this process to go? When do you want it to be over? How do you want to take your visits? Do you have all that mapped out?
Not necessarily. I'm just taking a bunch of unofficials as of right now. Taking a bunch of unofficials. I'm not sure when I'm gonna make a decision. I'm not necessarily in a rush either. I'm just going with the flow right now.
Absolutely, man. Enjoy this. This only happens one time in your life, and you'll never be able to get it back. Make sure
the next time they pick you,
make sure you take full advantage of this, bro. Because you got everybody in the country talking about you. What's your relationship like with LSU? Obviously, everybody that's listening to this show would love to see you at LSU once you make your decision for their own selfish reasons. But what is it from your point of view on the relationship like with the State University and the head coach and Ed Ogeron and the entire defensive staff?
It's been real great. I know everyone on the defense staff. They all talk to me and text me, call me. They all check up on me. The relationship is good. When June 1st hit and I was able to actually meet these other people, it got even, better because I went up to meet them. I spent the day with them, ended up talking to the players as well and talking to them about their experience with this whole recruiting thing, So the relationship with LSU is great.
Andre, is it true that Andre Carter's son is now recruiting you too? I mean, I think they've got everybody after you.
Yeah, his son. His son.
That's so good. Yeah, everybody, man. I mean, look, the buzz of you leaving LSU's camp on Saturday. I mean, it was electric. I mean, everybody in that building was talking about Quency Wiggins, and there was over 1,000 kids there this weekend. What was that one-on-one like with Will Campbell?
It was great. It's like I wanted to go against Will. He's the best of the best. Like iron sharpens iron. So I definitely had to go against him to get better. But
Quency, how much have these camps made a difference for you in terms of being able to get eyeballs on you? Because it kind of seemed like you were flying under the radar a little bit. Now that people have been able to see you, the offers have been rolling in. Is that something that you're kind of chomping at the bit to be able to do?
Repeat the question, please.
Oh, how important was it for you to be able to get on campus and do like these workouts for coaches in person as opposed to them just watching your film?
It's been real good. It definitely helps me. It gives me a taste of what the college level is like. And I think it's definitely gonna help in the long run. And it gives me and these coaches a better relationship. They get to see that. Not just how much of a good player I am, but how much of a good coachable player I am as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm done.
Well, and I've heard from your academic standpoint too. I mean, you're not just an athlete, man. I mean, I know that the academic side to you means a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. I need those in order to go to whatever college I want to go to.
Quency Wiggins is joining us here, Baton Rouge native, one of the hottest names in college football recruiting. Will you continue to play basketball?
No, I think I'm done. I don't think I'll have time this year if I plan on going to school early.
Man, that plan may have backfired on Jeff Jones.
Early enrollment.
Yeah.
You have a great relationship with Will Wade too, I know.
Oh yeah, me and Will in freshman year. I don't think he would have offered me a basketball, but we as far as people go, we're pretty cool. I seen Will the other day on the campus. He was showing a recruit around. I called Jeff Jones Jr., coach's son. So, it was me and Will are real good, real good.
Love that. All right, tell me what the rest of the summer is like for you. What's the schedule like? What are you looking to accomplish before you get back in action next fall?
Well, I'm going to go to some of these bigger camps. So I'm going to continue to work out. I'm going to take some classes this summer so I can leave early. And yeah, that's pretty much it right there.
So you're planning on being an early enrollee?
Yes, sir.
And you are waiting on that 5th star that should arrive here very soon from all services.
Shit, they need to send an extra.
If you're not a 5-star, I don't know what the hell a 5-star looks like, bro. Congratulations on everything. Thank you for stopping by here on the Jordy Culotta Show. You have an open invite anytime you want to stop in. Come see us. We'd love to have you. Best of luck on everything that's coming your way, man. You deserve it all. Happy to see all this happening to you.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You got it, man. There is Quency Wiggins stepping in, stopping in.
What a great interview.
That was
great kid.
Great. 16 years old, bro.
Coach's
amazing.
Dream.
Yeah.
When he said I had to go against Will Campbell, best of the best, I needed it.
And what about staying humble? What about him
Yeah.
talking about staying humble?
Dude, could you imagine the football coach, that dude lurking the hallways, and you're like, what do I got to
kidding
do?
me?
What do I got
you
to do?
kidding? That ain't happening.
And then he's teasing you, like, I'll be out there. It's like, you better come out there. Come on, you hop in the golf cart. Let's go.
Right.
Just see what it's like.
I'm not leaving until
you're
you coming with me.
Yeah.
I
Showing you the way.
So here's the deal, man. I mean, you're playing football, but that was a great interview, man. Yes, 16 years old.
That's great.
I mean, he's one of those Derek Stingley Jr.'s, Shaquille O'Neal's. I mean,
Ready.
People
League
forget. Stingley Jr. was 17 when he showed up at LSU. Shaquille O'Neal was 17 when he got on campus. I mean, Quency Wiggins, if he's an early enrollee, he's going to be 17 years old when he is preparing for college football with that physique, with that body.
He's day one.
He is day one instant impact. I mean, and I wish we could talk. Will Wade will be here in the second hour as he is getting out of a workout.
Is he
here
coming
this
in?
morning? He's not coming in, but we'll call him. And I wish we could talk to him directly about Quency because his stories are great. As the story goes on Saturday, Ogeron, Andre Carter, Mickey Joseph, all of them sitting in there with Quency Wiggins and Jeff Jones just rolling out the red carpet. You know what I mean? Just what do we got to do to end this thing today? We don't want you going to Tuscaloosa, Athens, Oxford, Gainesville uncommitted. Just what do we got to do?
Those places are a dump, dude. You don't need to go see them.
And Jeff Jones out of nowhere says, I don't know, Coach. I mean, look, we're going to enjoy the process. You guys are going to have just as good a chance as anybody. I can promise you that. But today, we don't want to deal with it. We're going to walk across the street and watch the basketball team play pickup. And Ogeron's like, what basketball team? What are you talking about, basketball team? Jeff Jones like, well, I mean, me and Will Wade, I mean, we're tight. I mean, we're good friends. Obviously, Jones being the Madison Prep head coach. If you're LSU's head coach, you want to go get to know that guy.
Right.
Have a lunch.
Yeah, right. So they're tight. And so the next thing you know, Wiggins and Jones are walking across the street that's, kind of cutting into the time of the LSU football recruiting staff and their time with Wiggins. Now Panamsky and Ogeron and Mickey Joseph are blowing Will Wade up saying, hey, man, what do we got to do to get you on this recruiting team to get Quency Wiggins to LSU? He said, y'all should have called me a year and a half ago. I've been on this guy for 2 years, man.
Wait for him to pop in basketball.
That's right. So that was good stuff, man. Quency Wiggins.
He beamed when he mentioned Will Wade.
Yeah,
He got pumped.
I'm telling you, man. If you do not, if you have not seen the highlights of Quency Wiggins at all, make sure and look his up. If you have not seen the one-on-one from him and Will Campbell on Saturday, where they're just going at it in just helmets, it is as good of a one-on-one as Sonny Ship to me is. We look, Shay and Billy Embody and Julie Boudouin, they've got great information and they've got great relationships and they can get you anything that you're looking for in recruiting. Sonny has been doing this for so long that he has seen so many cycles come through. And I'm not taking a shot at Sonny and his age. I'm just telling his experience. I mean, Sonny's right around my age. I mean, I'm not, old joke. I'm making fun of myself. But Sonny's got the experience. And when he came in here on Monday morning, if you haven't listened to it, you can check it out on our YouTube channel, Sonny Ship, talking about that one-on-one between Will Campbell and Quency Wiggins. You know how dangerous it is to speak in hyperbole in recruiting? The best I've ever seen? You could wake up tomorrow and see the best you've ever seen in recruiting, right? I mean, he's been doing this for over 25 years, and he said that the one-on-one with Wiggins and Campbell is the best he's seen. In a workout camp environment where there's no pads and that type of situation, those two cats going at one another is big time, high end. You can timestamp that video, and 4 years from now, you can replay that when they're walking up the draft podium to the NFL. because both of those guys are first-round talents today. Now, what happens over the next 3 to 4 years of development is still yet to be determined. But if they stay on the track that they're just on, you don't have to tinker or move a lot with these guys. Just get them on campus, put them into the weight program, make sure their nutrition is right, keep them academically qualified, and they're going to be first-round picks in 3 years. And that's what Wiggins is. And Wiggins is a great example of the pandemic. Like, the fact that this cat is not a 5th star, is not a 5-star already, shows you the lack of access that these recruiting services and coaches have had over the last year. Because if you were to sketch a 5-star defensive end, you would draw Quency Wiggins. He's 6'7", 270 pounds, and runs 4.5 and jumps 37. You know what I mean? If he's running at you full speed, you're screaming and running in the other direction.
And still getting
You know
caught.
what I mean? Like, he's grabbing you with one hand and picking you up. Where you think you're going, chump? You know what I mean? He doesn't know how good he is.
No, he's untapped potential.
He has no idea of how good he is going to be. So thank you to Quency Wiggins. I thought that was great. I thought that was a great interview and great insight. He's a fantastic kid. His academics mean as much to him as his athletics. So that is very much a testimony to his parents, to Jeff Jones, who is very instrumental in not only Quency Wiggins, because it would be easy to say, right, that Jeff Jones is looking out for Quency Wiggins because of the return that Wiggins could give a guy like Jones and just his ability to play. But Jones is the dad of Madison Prep. I mean, he is the father to almost all those, a father figure to all of those kids, male and female on that campus. And the fact that his academics are straight, the fact that he's not late for any workouts still while he's going through this recruiting process where Nick Saban and Ed Ogeron and Kirby Smart and Dan Mullen and Jimbo Fisher or Lane Kiffin are blowing this kid up all day. He's still at Madison Prep every morning at 5:30. He's still in there leading them. He's still in there hungry, humble, going into his senior year, waiting on this experience. He's a must-get for LSU. A must-get for LSU. And he's the same type of kid that Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher, Kirby Smart would look at and say, hey, let's just go disrupt Louisiana and try to just take one away from them. Alabama's already got one in Le'Veon Moss, who is a top target for LSU. That is stress and anxiety inside of the recruiting meetings for LSU, losing Moss. If Saban, Smart, and Fisher, who Fisher and Smart got the strategy from Saban of just go into Louisiana and go pluck 1 or 2 every year. You don't have to get all of them. Go get Landon Collins. Go get Cam Robinson.
Devontae Smith.
Go get Devonta Smith. If you can't get those guys, go get one of those cornerbacks that he took, Bradley Silver.
Right.
You just get one. Just get one every year and just disrupt their recruiting just a little bit. Dylan Moses.
And while you disrupt it, you're getting a star, an NFL player.
Exactly. And that's the one that they'll go after.
Right.
A high end. Dylan Moses, Landon Collins, Le'Veon Moss. Le'Veon Moss, the top running back on LSU's board.
Yeah.
I mean, make no mistake about it. And he's from Baton Rouge. Instead of Struma. That's where Billy Cannon went to school. You know what I mean? And he's committed to Alabama. And like Shay said yesterday, he's probably not going to budge. Brian Trudeau, Jordy, you hearing this smoke on Trey Mitchell again? I am. LSU basketball, and we'll talk to Will about this in a couple of minutes, lost out on a break. They missed a break. Darius Days got invited to the G League Combine as an alternate. The deadline on the G League Combine was Sunday night at 10 o'clock. Days got the call at 7 o'clock on Sunday. By all accounts, if he doesn't get that call, he's announcing that he's coming back to LSU this week. So depending on what happens with Days, and now you're in a time period where you're loyal to Days. So Days has kind of got you by the balls right now. And you're waiting on his decision and you're holding his spot. And if you hold his spot up until the last minute, you're going to miss out on Mitchell. And I think that they're in a good place with Mitchell, but their loyalty lies with Darius Days. And the timeline has been moved back on Days a couple of weeks now. And LSU's got to stay loyal to that. If he doesn't get into the combine on Sunday night at 7 o'clock before the 10 o'clock deadline, he's coming back to LSU. if Days announces he's coming back to LSU, the Trey Mitchell stuff's not there. There's no smoke there. I think that the Mitchell smoke started to pop when there was uncertainty on what Days was going to do. And when LSU figured that they had him back, I think communication kind of died off with Mitchell. So at this point, I would tell you that Mitchell is probably not coming to LSU while he had the door open for a small second. I think it's closed now, and now LSU's just kind of playing the waiting game and see what happens on Darius Days. We will ask Will Wade if he's done recruiting the transfer portal, and we'll ask him about what the future is in his eyes on Days joining the roster. We'll also talk to him about these guys now on campus. I mean, I've heard just glowing remarks on all these guys. Adam Miller, Tari Eason. I mean,
Nepton Reed.
The stories on Eason that are coming out are scary on how good he is. I mean, a Will Wade type guy. I'll let Wade tell the stories of Tari Eason and the impact that he's made here in just a couple of weeks on campus. But I will set you up and get you ready. You will be able to hear the enthusiasm in the head coach's voice on this team and where they are in June, heading into the season. It'll be fun conversation with Will Wade coming up here in a couple of minutes on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, daily, we are brought to you by RMB Builders. Our good friend Rhett Bourgeois and his crew are at RMB Builders. M as in mom. I was listening back to the podcast, and sometimes it can get lost. It sounds like sometimes I'm saying N, but it's RM.
No, there won't be any
as in
confusion
mom.
at all.
Me.
Yeah.
RM, yeah.
Nicholas
RMB.
Stillwater in our bunker said they're on their way to his house
Yes.
right now.
That's right. And then I also got a text from Rhett saying that there was other people that were hearing the ad. So we appreciate that very much. That means a lot to us, man. The people that support us, for our listeners to support them, that gives a lot of credibility and strength to our show. And for that, I don't know if we'd ever really be able to repay you, but we can always just tell you thank you every day.
Yep.
And we appreciate that. So
and we have firsthand experience with almost all of them.
Yeah, we do.
So
We do.
it's no lie.
We do. And RMB Builders is the best, man. I mean, we had the flood come through the house and through South Louisiana, and we were affected by it. And Rhett, who knew a lot of the answers from his experience in the 2016 flood, was very much a guiding light for us. He did a ton of work over at Katie's house, where Katie could not find a dependable contractor, couldn't find anybody that could do the work right. Rhett stepped in there and cleaned up the other person's mess and got her organized and detailed for her addition. That's why I love working with Rhett. You should work with Rhett. Check out the custom design homes that he can help you out with, the total overhaul and reconstruction. And he can help you out with a commercial project as well, as he's commercially licensed to help you out with anything around the office. Online at rmbbuilders.com, rmb-builders.com, or online. That's where they are online, or call them at 225-921-7062. I'm starting to sweat out through this.
I saw that. I thought you were having a stroke.
I mean, I'm starting. It's hot as hell in here, bro.
Can you crank that window
It's
you
hot
talking
as
on?
hell. Are we on high?
We're on
Are we
medium.
on high? Okay, we need to get to high.
Is there an AC contractor
That's what I
out
was
there
about
that
to say.
wants
We
to
gotta
sponsor
get
our
some
show?
AC going.
We
Yes.
could really use a new
fan
AC
man.
unit.
You got
That's
air
our
conditioning.
next-
Hell, it's just
That's
not
our next
reaching.
You got
ad.
air condition or HVAC services out there. We are looking for you.
We got coffee,
Studio.
we got water, we got lights, we need air.
Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com. Email her today, and we will get you some exposure for
We
sure.
will. We will.
I mean, we got a before and after picture ready for you. Got a
Good.
sweaty Jordy.
God, bro.
That
It's starting
seat.
it's starting to bowl up at my chin.
Looks like he's on the stand.
Rob Boudreaux, I thought I saw some what you thought. What else you looking at, bro? Check out this. I mean, look at this. Jesus Christ.
An outfit
man.
change. Look at that. You can see
Put a
it.
short sleeve shirt on. Show us those guns. You
I
got
mean,
them.
The ass sweat would be just,
Yeah.
We don't want to see
All
that.
time.
Well, I got
Swamp.
black on. Yeah, swamp ass, bro.
Swamp.
Over here in this flannel
I
chair.
hate that.
Might need to get a new
I hate that
new
term.
fabric for the summer, because this could smell like a locker room. by
You
the
know
end
what
of the
you
week.
need to do? We need to cover it like a grandmother.
Yes.
Put one
I'll
of
put
those
some plastic
plastic on it. Yes.
That'll pull you off.
You'll just slip right down it.
I could probably do that right now, bro. All right, we'll be back.
Slick to the touch.
No one sit in that chair.
Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com to learn more. Needed. Welcome back in here to the Jordy Culotta Show, live here in the UDL. A little wardrobe change.
It's like he's hosting the Oscars.
Halfway through. Sheesh, bro.
Did you go all the way wardrobe or just shirt?
Just shirt.
Okay.
Just shirt.
Just wondering how bad it was over there.
I mean, I could've-
What about your hands? We're concerned.
Yeah. Hands.
Socks,
Socks.
shoes.
Everything.
Slick to the top.
I mean, I could just be down here in a wife beater and a drawers.
Did my drawing.
Yeah, right.
This is the real show.
That's Italian.
Some slides, a beater.
And a capicola.
Please do it.
Come over, Vitello. Come over here.
Welcome back to the show, Will.
Hey. Oysters after.
Right. I'll meet you at Phil's. Get the meatball sub.
You need your garbage taken out.
Appreciate Quency Wiggins for stopping in. Wiggins is blowing up on recruiting right now, man. I mean, just the talk of the recruiting trail, and a couple of minutes with him here on Off the Bench as he gets set to go into his final year.
Jordy
Culotta
Culotta.
Show.
Is this,
Yes.
what do they call that?
Woo!
Freudian slip?
Yeah, Freudian slip.
Yeah, that's right.
They did ask yesterday in the chat. They're
They
like,
did. That's
how
weird
often?
that you said
yeah,
that.
they're like, how often has he done it yet? Has he slipped back into?
No,
old
hell no, he
Jordy?
never does
Has
it.
They jinxed it. They jinxed it.
One of the all-time great runs has finally come to an end. Does anybody have any idea what I'm talking about?
No.
An all-time great run on television. Over.
Oh yes. Is he a host of a game show?
He's not. It's not a game show.
Oh, Bachelor.
Yes.
Let's
Oh,
go. Let's
that's all
go.
time?
Yes.
That's why I didn't know. I'm like,
50 million.
I was thinking about
Chris
something
Harrison's 19-year run as host of The Bachelor comes to an end over a couple of comments that he made. Looks like he's been canceled.
Hate
oh,
to
that's
see
what
it.
happened?
Yeah, he got
I'm
Cancel
not, I don't
culture.
watch The Bachelor. I didn't know.
Now he got canceled.
Are you sure it's not a game show? I think it's a game show.
Is that a
It
game
is
show?
totally a game show.
Okay. My fault.
You
No,
accept
I'm
the
just
rose.
kidding. The
But
ultimate prize,
one of
divorce.
just one of
Exactly.
one of the great gigs in cable television. I mean,
Without a
if
doubt.
you think about what The Bachelor is in a day and age where cable television doesn't mean anything anymore, it definitely doesn't have the impact that it once had. But The Bachelor was almost like sports and news, where it was must-watch television, and they were pumping these things out almost like 2 or 3 a season. And like you said, $50 million later, 19 years later, where he was just stirring the pot of drama on cable television.
Literally asking you on camera, the easiest job of all time. You gotta have a little nerve though. Just be like, well, wow, that didn't go the way you think it did
Right,
it?
like, what happened?
And then she cries and leaves.
Yes.
It's so
And you know
dumb.
what? Let's just run it back.
Let's run it back.
Just run it back.
I've
Bye-bye.
got
did
the
he do?
formula.
Love to sneeze.
Like, why did he get fired? Bless you.
Thank you. You know what? I don't know, and I don't want to get into it because I don't want to give the opening to the culture and to the people the opportunity to come fall on us. He just made some comments that people disagree with in mainstream,
Okay.
and you know how that's worked out in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You know,
You're done.
And you're done. You're done. You're done.
Canceled.
Chris Harrison, after a 19-year run as the host of The Bachelor, which I thought was going to be a Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy type gig
Had to
for
say
him.
Jack.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where, like, at Jeopardy, Alex Trebek, he had to die to lose it. God rest his soul. But you know what I mean? Like, he had that job until the day he died. Pat Sajak will be the same way. I mean, Bob Barker. Bob Barker, is Bob Barker still alive?
I think he died.
I don't wanna
That's a
kill
great
him.
question. That's a
I
great
wanna
question.
kill him.
I feel like we do this
All right,
all
go around
the
the room.
time.
Alive or dead?
I got him dead.
I got him dead
Alive or
too.
dead?
Dead.
I'll go against it. I'm gonna go
You
live.
go
I
alive?
think
I'll go live.
Who's Googling here?
I hate
I
that.
got
Bob
it.
Barker.
Okay,
I
what do you got?
I think he's alive.
Is he alive?
I think so.
Golly, I hate that I just killed
But
him.
dude, but the fact that he doesn't look old, but you know he is old. He's got the
Which
a
one?
lot of work done. Bob Barker.
Sure.
Pat Sajak looks the same as he did like 30 years ago.
Well, he's got to keep up with
Bizarre.
Vanna, dude.
He's alive.
Let's go.
97 years young.
97.
Those teeth are about 3 years old.
Good for you, Bobby.
Oh my
Good
God.
for you.
Took out.
I
Seven.
just think about Happy Gilmore.
Rob
Yeah,
Boudreaux,
that's all I
pay
think
up.
about.
Rob had him dead too. Pay up, you
A
lose.
lot of people had him dead, probably. I sworn he died.
Golly, wow, how about that, man?
Good for him
for
for being
Bob.
alive
Yes.
at 97.
He looks
agree.
great.
He does.
Watch out, Mama Rosie.
Money.
Bob Barker's coming for your ass.
Those gigs are the best in television.
Without a doubt.
I mean, was it you telling the Dan Patrick story?
Yes.
Yeah, when Dan Patrick went and tried out for the host of Price is Right. And they were like, what do you think? And he was like, I might get it. I mean, I don't know what they pay. You know what I mean? I don't want to give my gig up on this thing and go do The Price is Right. So I was like, Dan, you moron. Get the hell out of sports radio, bro, and go make $12 million a year. Yes. I mean, like, are you crazy?
And he had no clue.
He had no idea. And then, like, Drew Carey signed a 3-year deal for like $40 million. And he was like, what in the bleep? What the hell just happened?
Back to Meat Fridays with the boys, I guess.
I mean, Pat Sajak's got the gig.
Oh, yeah.
It's 1 hour of scripted television that they tape probably 6 or 7 episodes a day, and they probably pack it all into a 4-month window.
God, do you think that's how they do it?
Oh, it is.
It's
that
definitely how
many
they do
episodes
it.
a day?
I've heard it's very sad, like, to actually do it. Like, it's not
It's
an
a very
easy,
depressing
yeah,
day.
It's like you walk into
why?
like a studio warehouse.
Sure,
it's like not AC'd. You walk in there, then they just put this. It's a facade. The whole thing is like not what you think it is.
Well,
it's very Hollywood,
yeah.
to where everything's fake, and then you're
Sure.
like, oh man, this is a made-for-TV event.
The room's probably this size.
Really?
You know what I mean? You walk into a studio, and the majority of the room is seating for the live audience.
Yeah.
So the stage is, as it looks on television, not that big. You know what I mean? Think about when people walk in here.
They do.
You know what I mean? They're
we're
like,
doing a Hollywood show
holy
ourselves.
shit, this is a shoebox.
That's what Max said. He said, you know, I was expecting it to be a lot bigger.
Yeah,
everybody. I was like, so did I.
Everybody that walks in,
Well,
they're
the
like, whoa.
same thing, WAFB. The first time I walked in there, I was like,
Yes, I mean,
I was like, the weather's right there,
Everything-
and the table's right here.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's like a boardroom,
I
right?
mean,
You know what I mean?
That's why you can do the camera cuts, dude. You have no idea where you are. It's the Hollywood magic.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, and
To
so
learn.
I mean, you go into that. I mean, they're definitely not shooting one a day.
No, that would be every day.
Yeah, I mean, like
That would be awesome if it was live.
like
though.
Letterman and Leno and them used to shoot.
Yeah.
in the afternoon.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
shoot like 2:00 in the afternoon.
I know, but they're one a day.
They were
I mean,
one a
they're
day.
like news.
They were one a day.
That's so weird to me. Even that, like like Jimmy Kimmel and all them are doing it during like just the middle of the day,
Right.
when it seems like they have that like nighttime
I know.
energy. You know, they bring that like, oh man, this is prime time. They're doing it at night. It feels
do.
live, and they just walk off set, undo their like clip-on tie, and it's
Right.
3:30, and they go grab a hoagie. And
Is
it's
that what
like
they do?
I've been so fooled.
And $3 million.
Yeah, that's
Right.
nice too.
You know what I mean? A hoagie.
I don't know what they eat in New
Noah's
York
like,
City.
God, y'all are
Hoagie.
old.
Yeah.
We like keep getting older to Noah. We age daily.
Oh, okay, all right, a keto wrap. Some kale.
Remember, Johnson Spillers brings you the Jordy Culotta Show. Johnson Spillers is online, johnsonspillers.com. They are our dentist over here. If you need any dental needs, man, anything you may need, or if you need Botox, go see. You're looking to try and stay young, like all the rich people.
Want to look like Pat Sajak?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what happened when money finds you, right? I mean, Jeff Bezos, Nick Saban. I mean, all these guys look younger now in their older age than they do. I mean, Nick Saban at Michigan State and with the Cleveland Browns looks 60.
He's Benjamin Button.
He looks 60.
You think
I mean,
Nick's getting Botox?
I think Nick
Yes.
is absolutely paying for a lot of work.
And you know what Nick
so.
does? They come to his house.
Yes.
He's
Oh,
not
yeah.
going out in
Absolutely they
public.
come to
Yeah,
his
you don't
house.
But
see him.
he did in the day go to the spot in Jefferson Shopping Center and get his hair dyed.
Did he?
What is that, the gallery?
Yeah.
He would go sit in the gallery and he'd be
Alright.
sitting there, and my grandmother would be like, I think I saw Nick Saban today in the highlight
Get his
chair. I
hair
said,
colored.
no way. There's no way. There's no way it was Nick Saban. You want me to call you, baby, next time I'm there? And if he's there, I said, hell yeah, call me. If you think it's Nick Saban and he's sitting in a highlight chair, call me. And she gets me over there, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my
She
God.
was like, that's him, right? I'm like, that's definitely him. I mean, he was getting like the streak. I mean, he was kind of get the blonde and the little, streak in his hair. And I was like, all right, man. I mean, I ain't mad at you.
That's where all the recruiting information was coming
Yes.
from in the early
That's
2000s.
right.
Was the gallery with 85-year-old
right.
women.
You
It's
tell
just-
a lot of people
You
stuff
better
in the
watch out
chair
for
to
Marcus
salon.
Spears. I think he's gonna turn him into a defensive end.
I get all my information from my grandmother, the biggest insider.
I'm telling you, my mom said, bro, that Saban was talking all about Michael Clayton the other day. Man, I think they're gonna get him. All right, let's take a quick break. Set up Will Wade here for the last 30 minutes. We will talk
Honey,
to
do you
Coach
need some
Wade.
money?
Right. We will talk to Coach Wade here about his roster. We'll ask him about Jeff Jones. We will needle and prod about Quency Wiggins. We can't ask about Wiggins directly, but we will ask about Jeff Jones and prospects and the relationship and
People on
how
campus.
Ogeron is now blowing up Will Wade to help him on getting and recruiting Quency Wiggins and getting him over to the football facility. Coach Will Wade next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, presented every day by Go Chevrolet. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, jordy@jordyculotta.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. jordy@jordyculotta.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, jordy@jordyculotta.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. jordy@jordyculotta.com to learn more.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
Welcome back in here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet online, GEAUX, We were talking to Quency Wiggins early on, one of the top recruits in college football. His name exploding all over college football campuses around the country, specifically in the SEC. We asked him about his relationship with Will Wade. That seemed to really open him up. He talked about knowing Coach Wade for the last couple of seasons, and that Quency Wiggins was here on town and was over at the LSU basketball facility on Saturday as well. Speaking of the basketball facility, there are upgrades on the way, but on the practice floor right now is potentially a top 15 team in LSU as they are preparing and going through their off-season preparations as all of the guys are now here in Baton Rouge. We always like to link up with Coach Will Wade a couple of times in the off-season to get his points of view on where he is. He's got a huge recruiting weekend on the horizon with a couple of official visitors coming into town. So let's catch up with the LSU head basketball coach, our guy, the man, Coach Will Wade, joining us here now on the Jordy Culotta Show. Boot up, Coach. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. This is the off season. This is a lot of the time where you like to do knowledge building and going out and seeing other programs and being able to cherry pick things that are working and bring them back to Baton Rouge. What's the emphasis this off season for improving your program going into next fall?
Well, we're trying to do a lot more team building stuff. I've tried to be a little bit more creative, a little bit more intentional with some of our team building activities. We went and played paintball on Tuesday as a group, and then we had a cookout afterwards. So I'm trying to be intentional and do one of those a week because we've really got three different groups. We've got a group of freshmen that are here and getting ready for college basketball for the first time, but they're certainly new to our program. We've got a group of returners, who are here, who have been here and been through college. And then we've got a large group of transfers as well who are new to LSU, but are not new to college basketball. So we've got groups of guys on our team in three different areas. And so that's made it, it can make it challenging with the team building aspect. So I've really tried to spend a lot of time on that, focus a lot of our time on that, and be intentional with how we do that, even more so than in the past. Because a lot of the team building I've done in the past has really been on the court and trying to build it through, kind of shared suffering, shared sacrifice on the court, so to speak. But we're being intentional a lot more with the off the court things with our team.
Did you dress out for paintball?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I played. Yeah, it was 98 degrees. It was. They didn't light me up too bad. I got some licks in on a couple of them, so it was good.
Did you light anybody up? I told you not to pass that ball into the post.
No, we got some guys that were pretty good though. We got some guys that were pretty good. We had a good time. We were out there 2 hours, played a bunch of different games, and had a cookout afterwards, so it was good.
Your team is intriguing nationally because you've got a great mix of veterans alongside a incoming freshman class that had a lot of buzz coming in. Obviously, you cleaned up in the transfer portal. How do you like the collection of guys, just seeing them together for the first time or just seeing them in the building collectively?
Yeah, I like it. I like, our transfers are all very, very talented, but they're all very, very competitive. Our freshmen are as good or probably a little bit better than we thought. And, we've got some guys that are in the program that have gotten better as well. And Milani's really improved in the off season. Eric Gaines has made some big strides. And, like I said, the transfers, all of those guys have been as advertised, and Afton's been very, very good, and Brandon Murray's been excellent. So I like our group. I like our guys. We've got we play extremely hard right now, which is good. They love to play. They love to work. We've got to get a little bit better with our details, a little bit better. Just being clean with the ball and clean up a bunch of things. But I can't fault our effort so far.
I have heard great things in just talking to some of your support staff and some of your members about Tari Eason and just his mentality early on.
Ooh, we hit on him.
Why do you say that with such enthusiasm from your point?
He is a pit bull. Oh, he's good. He's got everything. He's got everything you want. I mean, he's an extremely, extremely hard worker. He plays like every possession is the end of the world, both on offense and on defense. He just got a motor. He's always bopping around. Him and Adam Miller, they got unbelievable energy to him, unbelievable positive energy to him. But Eason I knew he was really good. And obviously, that's why we recruited him and we kind of found him, and that's why we wanted him. But he's probably 3 times as good as I thought he was.
Wow.
He is excellent, and he can play darn near any position you need from the 3 on down. So he's a versatile piece. He can make shots. He's one of our best we track 3-point shooting and live play, and workouts and everything. And he's right there with with our guards. Shooting
Did you
40
think you were
plus.
getting that with him?
We knew we were getting a good player. I knew the rebounding and the block shots. He just blocks 2 or 3 shots at practice. Him and Fudge both. How in the world did they get those? But I knew we were getting some of the rebounding, the toughness, the ruggedness, the physicality. He's got a great attitude. I was talking to him. He actually rode with me out to paintball. So I was talking to him in the car. He's like, "Coach, this is with 2 weeks of skill instruction. Wait till I get 4 months of this stuff, Coach. I'll be. I'm like, yeah. I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, he's actually right. He's got wait till he does get 4 months of this. We're gonna be in real business. But he just brings an edge to us, that we've lacked a little bit. Him and Miller both, man. Adam Miller's the same way. He don't want to lose any. He chased a ball down yesterday in workouts all the way down to the other end of the court, dove head first into the wall to get it. They both have just winning, mentalities and great spirits to them. So I'm excited about those guys.
I hear the discipline on Adam Miller is something that you can't teach, or it's rare to find in a prospect of his caliber. In the commitment that he shows to the game every day.
It's impressive. He's in here every morning at 7:30 getting his extra shots up. It's impressive. I'm talking every morning. I'm talking he does it Saturday mornings at 7:30, Sunday mornings at 7:30. He loves basketball. He's committed to being great. He doesn't have a lot of hobbies. He's not into a lot of stuff off the court. It's just strictly basketball. So he's been great, and it's rubbed off on a lot of our guys.
You've seen this freshman class up close now with guys like Brandon Murray and Efton Reed in it. What has been the return on these first year players early on?
They've been really good. Murray is a tough, physical competitor. He's everything we thought. He's everything we thought in recruiting. He has that same edge, that Tari and Adam have. He's got that same just competitive, just crazy edge to him. Actually, him and Adam were the 2 chasing down the loose ball on the other end yesterday, and so they were. He can really score it. He's a good shooter. He's physical. He can guard his tail off. He doesn't ever get screened. He can get through screens. He's been great, and Efton's unbelievably skilled. He's an extremely hard worker as well. Very conscientious about everything. But he can really shoot it. He's got an unbelievable jump hook. Really, really good down in the low post. One thing I love about him the most is he talks a ton on defense to be able to get us organized, get us where we need to be, defensively. So I've been very pleased with those young guys.
Is your roster set for the offseason? I know that you're waiting on.
Sorry
about that.
Well,
So well,
like I always tell Miriam. Miriam's always on me about my roster. I always tell Miriam. I said, Miriam, the rules say by the first day of class in August, I got to have 13 on scholarship. That's how the rule reads. So by the first day on scholarship, I'll have the 13 best people that can play for LSU on this roster. So how's that for dodging the question?
That's Will Wade.
we'll schedule. Yeah.
That's the general speaking right there.
That's the same thing I told Miriam. She asked me that last week. She said, when are we going to know? I said, Miriam, I got till first day of class at the end of August. I said, we'll be all right.
We schedule
Don't
for
worry about
all weight classes.
Right.
It'll start till the
good.
afternoon.
It's all good.
I said, we'll be all right. I said, I'm from Tennessee, but I can't count to 13. So I said, we'll have 13 on scholarship when we need to. It's first class in August.
What about an update on Days? I
think that was it.
Where's the window?
No, that wasn't really it. No, I mean, I'm excited for all those guys. Cam got in the combine. And he doesn't have to do any of the testing or anything like that. He's just going to go for interviews and medical stuff. Trendon got in the combine. He's going to be able to play, which will be great. I think he'll be able to play his way up, and he's going to go at people and pass some people in the draft. And then Javonte and Days both got into the G League combine, which is a great opportunity. They moved Terrence Mann, the kid who just played really well for the Clippers, who killed us when he was at Florida State when we played him in Orlando a couple of years ago. There's 4 or 5. So they're in, Javonte and Days are both in the G League combine, the 19th through the 21st. They'll take 4, 5, 6 guys from that and move them up into the NBA combine. So they've got a great opportunity in front of them. So I'm excited for all those guys. I talked to Javonte the other day, and talked to Days yesterday, actually. Trendon and Cam I talked to on Tuesday. So, I'm excited for those guys. They got a great opportunity, and we'll see where things shake out.
Yeah, it was great to see Tremont getting action in the postseason for Boston. Skylar Mays, obviously, on the playoff roster for Atlanta. Ben Simmons, of course, up for the Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA. So LSU very well represented in the NBA. How much do you have those conversations with guys that you were prospectively talking to? How much of those guys paying attention to that stuff?
They know. I mean, they know. You've been in our practices. We got all those guys on the wall. So they sit there and go across the wall, start talking about everybody. So, they all know. Speaking of that, one guy I haven't mentioned that has really, he's played the best is Sharif. I know everybody always asks about him health-wise, but Sharif, the last 2 weeks, he's looked as good as he's looked since he's been here, and probably healthy and as good as he's looked, since he was, a borderline 5-star coming out of high school. He's been absolutely phenomenal. I've been very, very excited about him. Very, 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 very pleased with him.
What does he do if you can count on him health-wise and he's right?
He's Aaron Epps.
Okay. Wow.
He's Aaron Epps. That kid we had our first year. He can make a bunch of threes. He can rebound. He's wiry. He can really, really affect the game and really help us. He's got a great attitude. Everybody loves him. Everybody loves being around him, and he's been working extremely, extremely hard. He worked really hard during the break from when he left here to when we came back, and so it's really, really shown up.
How do you like your schedule? A couple months out, is it firmed up? And with this group that you're taking in, it looks like a challenging roster for a challenging schedule for a very good roster.
Yeah, I mean, schedule's gonna be challenging. We're all done. I think they're waiting to release it. Mm-hmm. I think the tickets went on sale for the game in Shreveport Bossier the other day. But the schedule's pretty much locked in. We've got some really, really good games. We're playing Liberty at home, who played in the NCAA tournament last year, barely lost to Oklahoma State and Cunningham in the tournament. We got Belmont at home, who was really, really good and lost in the OVC championship. I think they may have had the most wins in the country going into their tournament championship. They're like 27-2 or something like that. We've got Lipscomb at home. We're playing at a tournament at Destin. We're playing Georgia Tech in Atlanta at the Hawks Arena, actually. So we've got a really good non-conference schedule, really challenging schedule, but we got to keep the team forming and keep the team coming together, and we'll be ready to go.
We talked to the number one prospect in football recruiting in our number one. Can't mention him by name to you because he's a dual sport athlete, but he comes out of Madison Prep, which is one of the great high school basketball factories in the Southeast and especially in the state of Louisiana. You've got a great relationship with Jeff Jones. What are those relationships like when you're the head coach and you've got the relationship with one of the dominant basketball programs in the city? And what's that mean for recruiting? Because they seem like they're a program where they've got players year in, year out, whether it's on the wood or whether it's on the field.
Well, you try to develop relationships with different folks and different different programs, and certainly there's some programs in our state that have been very, very successful in basketball, and there's some programs that are good in football and good in both. And so, I just try to develop some of those. I've known Coach Jones since well before I got to LSU, so I've known those guys for a little bit. But it's a great program, one of many great programs in the state.
What does recruiting weekend look like for you? I know you got a lot of guys coming in. You got a couple of guys coming in officially.
Yeah, we got one here now. We got a couple more this weekend, so it'll be jam packed. It'll be good though. That's what we like. Get them back going. Get everybody here. LSU shows really well. Baton Rouge shows really well when we're here, and so the way the rules read now, we can bring kids now, and then we can bring them again in the fall for football games. So we're trying to really set the tone with these visits here in June, then go evaluate and see a lot of these guys in July, and then come back in the fall and really bring in a select group of guys and try to lock some guys in. So, we're not going to have a huge class, probably 3 guys, maybe could balloon up to 4 a little bit, but I think 3 is probably a good number right now, and we'll see. Maybe we get somebody here by the end of the month and have a couple ready to roll, and see if we can find 1 or 2 more out in July. So I like where we're at. My staff, Kevin Nickelberry, Tasman, and Bill, they've done a great job with the relationships and getting us in position with these guys. And so now we'll bring these guys in and show them what it's about, and we'll go from there.
Last one, I'll get you out of here. You had so much success in recruiting during the Zoom period, and I thought it was very interesting the last time you were here saying that, look, we don't just give Zoom meetings to everybody. We go in very detailed, and I think you guys had only done 11 Zooms and gotten 3 players in the transfer portal. Do you take any of those methods with you into recruiting, getting back to somewhat normalcy where you can get out and meet people face to face and have people on your campus? Was there anything that you took away from that you can add to the recruiting package now?
Yeah, it's funny. As I'm sitting here, I'm in our gym. Jake, one of our administrative people, sitting here working on the presentations for this weekend. But I think what we've done is we've been able to, the Zoom presentation, for instance, we may have a video of our academic center. Well, we don't have the video of the academic center anymore. We can show it to them live when they're here on campus, but there's also the plan and some of the organization that's within that is really, really good. And so we're gonna keep using that part of it, and the parts that we don't have to have the video of our apartments anymore. We can show them the apartments live. So that part we can show live while using a lot of the other parts of the presentation. So I think it's going to work well. I think it's going to enhance our visits, enhance what we do.
Jake Steinhardt, what a beast. A second shout out from Will Wade. Successive interviews. This cat, you better watch his head over there, Coach. You're blowing that kid up.
He's the best. You don't have to worry about him. He's going to stay humble, and he's going to keep working. He was in here. I finished my run I was coming through here about 5:45, finishing my run. He was walking in, getting stuff ready. So he's on it.
That is a Willie Wade type of player right there, man.
That kid sleeps there. There's just no doubt.
He'll have a job for life on Wade's staff. Thank you as always, sir. We'll talk again soon.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Boot up. There is Will Wade, the portal assassin, the LSU head basketball coach. About 20 minutes of good information there on LSU. Don't want to go too much into Days, but Days being invited to that G League Combine on Sunday night was a setback for LSU and their roster, just because of they thought that was as good as done with Days being able to come back. Now it's not over, but it's back to a coin flip. On Sunday it was 90-10. He was coming back to LSU. Today, as we have this conversation, I would put it right at about 50-50, 40-60, maybe in the odds of the G League and the NBA, but still a possibility. And if you're waiting on Days, I think that the Trey Mitchell boat will sail just because of the timing and the window that fits in. Like I said, the loyalty lies to Darius Days, and they will hold the spot for him all the way up until the deadline, which I believe is 2 weeks from tomorrow.
First day of class,
we will
whenever
check
that
that.
is.
We will check that. Yeah, that's roster. But I'm talking about the for guys to take their names out or put their names in to the draft.
Does Days, if he works out at the combine, that doesn't affect his eligibility at all?
No,
He
he's
can still
good.
run?
He's
Okay.
good. He's good. Just as long as he doesn't sign with representation, and he keeps that open, he's fine. And that is an option for him. So I think that he will stay eligible for college basketball up until he makes his decision, whether he decides to go to the G League and start his clock, or he will come back for another year of college basketball on a team that he could make potentially top 5 to 10 team. I think you would be in that window of 5 to 10 if you got Darius Days back. I think Days would probably be going into the year, maybe preseason candidate for a Player of the Year type honor.
Yeah.
I mean, he would make LSU very difficult of a matchup. And, you know, look, a lot of those things that you were hearing Wade talk about, it seems like Adam Miller is the leader of this team already. There was a story that I was talking to a staffer the other day, and they were playing pickup. This is a pickup basketball game now, and they're keeping score, obviously, in there. They have a manager in there running clock and scoreboard for them. And they get down, probably, and they get down to the last possession, and shot clock violation on Adam Miller's team. Ball stopped in the corner with somebody. And somebody, and whoever it was, I know I don't want to give the name, but he looked at Miller and did the, my bad. And Miller shot back, I got no effing time for my bad, bro.
Right.
My bad don't win effing games. I'm here to win games.
That's awesome.
And Wade had to kind of hide his erection first, you know what I mean? And like kind of slide back into the locker room and think out loud like, holy shit.
I got a
You know,
guy.
man, we got a
Right.
dude. We got a leader. We got a cat that is just like me. And Wade said he kind of slid back out, and the players looking at him, and Wade's like, what he said. You know what I mean?
I can't help you here, cuz.
I mean,
That's what you need with a team like this. And then I liked when he was talking about the off the court stuff and getting them doing that. That's huge.
That is huge.
because having them mesh with all the new faces, if you can get some morale going and the chemistry, it's scary.
That
What he
goes
said about Tari Eason.
Yes, that. But I think that what Noah said is important because it goes to show how different the portal is.
Yeah.
Because you're bringing in guys that have never played together. It's not like high school where they kind of run the
Right.
same
It's
AAU
AAU.
circuit.
It's
Yeah,
AAU basketball.
right.
Yeah.
And so now you got to bring them together, and they're coming into LSU, and there's people that have already been there, and they're like, how do I fit in? Or whatever. It's like, fucking dude, let's go out and play paintball. Go shoot each other if you don't like
Right,
each other. Like,
right.
then let's go to a cookout after. Like him, that forward thinking is very impressive. I'm sure he loves my comment on him. I'm sure he likes, that I think he's good.
Give you an idea of where the roster is right now in watching them play a little bit of pickup. If they played today, if they played tonight, I don't know if Josh LeBlanc would get 3 minutes.
Oh, no.
Wow. That's how good they are.
Yeah.
It's not a discount on LeBlanc. I just think that type of player.
That position we have, we have Efton,
so
we
long.
got Eason, and then Sharif, and if Days comes back, it's just
Think about what Josh LeBlanc's role was on this team and what was being discussed of him being eligible last year in the Christmas
Right.
break to where he is now just because of the talent influx, overload. They are deep.
yeah.
And if they
long.
get Days back, because I think the Trey Mitchell stuff, I don't think that it works out just because you have to wait on Days. You're committed to Days. But as you heard him, I think if you read between the lines on the scholarship stuff and the roster stuff, is that nobody's really safe.
Yeah.
So, if Trey Mitchell tells him that he really wants to come,
Yeah.
you might have to look at somebody and say, hey, you should look at a JUCO, or you should look at you should call Bob Marlin at UL, or you should call one of these state schools and see if you can't fit in.
I don't think he's calling Bob Marlin.
Call Johnny Jones
Yes.
at Southwest Texas.
Southern.
Yeah, Texas Southern, and see if you can't get a spot there.
Right.
Who was that? Galen Alexander? That was here a couple of years
think
ago,
so.
playing for Will Wade.
Yeah.
Now he's starting for Johnny.
Right.
That's just kind of how that thing works. So good stuff from Will Wade here on the Jordy Culotta Show on this Thursday. Quency Wiggins earlier in the show. Remember, if you missed that conversation, great insight from a player over at Madison Prep that is experiencing the highs, all the highs of recruiting, as he is the number one defensive player on, I'd imagine right now, every SEC team. everyone that we care about. The Georgias, the Floridas, the Alabamas, the Auburns, the Texas A&Ms,
teams we're
Ole
going to be
Miss, the ones that you care about on the roster that you got to beat year in, year out. And you won't want them facing you with a kid from Baton Rouge that looks like him.
Don't want him chasing down Walker Howard.
No way, man. Walker Howard don't want him chasing.
Right.
Will Campbell doesn't want him chasing Walker
Five
Howard.
times was enough.
That's right.
I don't want to do it 85 times.
I saw Will on Twitter like, "Hey man, it's time to join the
that
party."
was enough.
Yeah, right. Like, come on, man.
We can do that at
squad.
practice.
Let's just do it at practice.
Yeah,
Let's not do that.
And
Do that
I-
half speed next
I
time.
think his basketball background really helps with
I
his
do
like
too.
football recruiting
too.
in terms
Oh,
of
yeah.
like keeping him humble
I do
because
too.
he's seen both sides. He's like,
Yeah.
why is somebody talking to me? Then he gets it all at once. He's like, I know how to handle this a little bit
I
because
thought
I'm
his-
used to being
one of his best answers was
Yeah.
the Will Wade stuff. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it sounded like it was his buddy. I mean, to give you an idea of how comfortable he can get in this situation. And look, you got to watch how you say this because I don't mean it disrespectfully. Anytime you open up the line or give an opportunity to a 16, 17, 18-year-old, even a college student,
Right.
it is a gamble in our trade, in our industry. Now, we hit a lot more than we whiff, but when you whiff, you look, you whiff.
Yeah.
you start to sweat a little
right,
bit.
Right. And that sweat this morning was not
Not
because
bad.
of Big Q, because my man he's polished. I mean, he is ready for this.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's somebody that if you are tutoring on name, image, and likeness, that he is, bro, you're sitting in a catbird seat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially if you go to LSU. And I'm not saying that but if you're a local kid and you're gonna be a player like everybody anticipates you are to be, you know, I mean, you should be making a lot of
Seamless
money,
transition.
man. Especially if you're not scared of the microphone, if you're not scared of the camera, if you're not scared to sit down and talk to somebody and
Right.
you know, kind of be personal and allow people in. You know, that's a lot of the discussions right now with Stingley.
Yeah.
Junior is
You got to open up a little bit.
just a little bit. You don't have to be somebody that you're not, but you have to have a line of personability to you or personality to you that people feel open to come talk to you.
Get rid of
You know?
that mystery. Get
The,
rid
the,
of
the
yeah.
mystery, yeah. I mean, and not that Stingley has this superstar air to him because he's
Right.
very approachable.
Right.
And once you approach him, you realize, man, he's very humble.
very- yeah,
yeah,
down to
he's-
earth.
normal.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
cool.
very soft spoken. He's just a normal dude. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But you got to break that wall down a little bit to allow advertisers to trust you. Which, by the way, I learned yesterday that once name, image, and likeness goes legal, which is expected to go July 1st. I mean, we can just bring these cats in and interview them.
Oh, yeah.
I heard it was slowing down though. Is that not true?
Oh man, I watched it on C-SPAN 2 last night. My shout out Pops, he told me it was on. I don't really peruse C-SPAN 2 all that often.
Right.
But
You
I
don't seem like a C-SPAN.
No, I'm not. Shocking, I know.
Yeah, right.
But he told me it was on, and Mark Emmert was up there throwing a fit.
Yeah.
Man, he was sweating. And then you saw our boy Deli in the background. I was like, I can't believe I've been here for 6 hours.
Nobody's siding with Emmert.
But no, and you can tell Mark Embert's starting to get frustrated, and he's trying to pound in the table a little bit. Like, this is a man that's told everybody no his entire life, and when he finally gets told no, he doesn't know how to react to it. So feels like it's slipping through his fingers a little bit.
Take
some
your
states
raise.
are going forward. New Mexico, Mississippi, a few
Yeah.
others are.
Georgia and
are-
Florida, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all good with it.
But this is the final hurdle. If
No way Georgia and Florida are going to go final without a school, like without a state like Louisiana
You
and
would think.
Alabama following suit. No, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ed Ogeron is not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
Nick Saban is not going to let that happen. Because if Kirby Smart can go to Quency Wiggins and say, "Hey, man, we can pay you. LSU can't for
Yeah.
name, image, and likeness."
Right.
LSU loses that kid
Totally.
on that. I mean, you know, that's what happens. I mean, you know, they got a new weight room because a recruit told them that they had a weight room on Alabama's campus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how that stuff works. The baseball team. The baseball weight room was because a recruit had come in and said, I'm sorry, it wasn't Alabama, it was Mississippi State. Because a recruit came in and said, I'm going to Mississippi State because we can work out in the facility. And, you know, Mainieri and Nolan Kane were like, what? What do you mean? I mean, we got LSU across our chest. And they're like, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, man. I'm not walking across the street to go lift weights. He's not doing it. You know, I mean, and that was when, you know, those guys got the realization of, holy shit, you know, we got to keep up. You got to build facilities. You got to do this to get recruits because they will burn you on it if you don't.
Yeah, it's very much keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, it's an arms
Yeah.
race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day is an arms race in the SEC. Every day you have a nutritionist, we have a nutritionist. You have a weight room on the facility and you don't have to leave. We have a weight room on the facility. You have a players hangout lounge that has pool and PS5 and all that. We got a Clemson's got a
We
slide.
got Walker Howard coming, dude.
We
He's got 80 of them.
Got all of them.
That's right. You got the CEO of PS5. All right, good show. Thanks everybody for interacting. Numbers are so good. We appreciate that, man. We love that.
We do.
Support our sponsors. Please tell them that you hear it here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We thank you for everything that you do in supporting us. If you're looking for gear, we have that. I saw somebody asking for a tank top.
I'll make it for you.
no,
Send me what you want and I'll print it for you.
Yeah, but we have tank tops.
We have ladies tank tops.
Okay.
Oh,
He
let's
wanted
get a
men's.
large.
He wanted
Okay.
to show off his
Yeah,
guns.
you can make it work.
Okay.
Jordy.itemorder.com. And don't forget those Southern Marsh football polos.
Yes.
You need to go ahead and get those in.
Southern Marsh
86
gear
days
over there.
away from football season.
Is it 86 days away? Wow.
Amazing.
And it'll be here before you know it.
Yep.
UCLA
They're in trouble.
will be there. Yeah, they're in trouble.
Jason said no mention of the 2 national champs in track and field yesterday. I did see a clip of that.
I'm sorry, Jason.
Last night.
Let me give Coach Shazer's group a shout out here because I definitely want to make sure and recognize the track and field program
impressive.
because they are very impressive. They
Yeah.
are as impressive as a program as LSU has on campus, but you rarely give them the attention and accolade that they deserve. Javon Harrison and Tezuro Pedigo both won national championships yesterday in track and field. Harrison in the long jump, Pedigo in the javelin throw. Both claimed NCAA titles on Wednesday night to start things off for LSU's #1 track and field program at the NCAA championships on Wednesday night as the Tigers were able to get into winner's circle here early on with the track and field championships taking place. I believe this is in Eugene.
That's where it is every year.
Yeah, is that it's every year it's there?
I think so.
I
So
saw
it's
the
up in
end of it
Eugene.
last
Either that
night.
or they
It's
host it
impressive.
every year.
Something about Eugene.
I know they have a fantastic track and field team because of
Old Nike.
old Knight.
Yeah, Phil Knight. All right, Lizzie, Noah, and Katie, good work. Appreciate everybody for being out there. We're back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. from the defensive MVP of the LSU football camp last weekend to the offensive MVP. Tune in tomorrow morning at 7:30 right here on the Jordy Culotta Show, and we will talk to the #1 tight end in the country out of Athens, Athens, Georgia.
I don't know. Honestly, his dad's truck has a big thing that says, "We're going to Baton Rouge."
It does. But when
Son
I
of
asked,
Big
when I
Bad
asked
Brad.
him, when I asked him last week if we could get together, he said he's headed back to Athens. Big Bad Brad did. So,
I set up
Jake
a,
Johnson.
I set up a trick shot
Yeah,
off
Katie's trying to
between
set
up
up
a
us.
trick shot
Yeah, we
competition.
gotta
Yeah.
get that going.
which by the way, Noah, great job, bro.
Oh, he said first
Noah.
take, dude.
Thank you.
First
if y'all
take.
don't follow our TikTok, please go to our TikTok. Noah's killing
Yeah, it was first
and
take,
you need to
guys.
watch
That
that.
was
Yeah.
my
video.
first try.
First
try.
throw.
I thought
That was
the football toss was more impressive than
It
the
was.
He
basketball.
did the
toss.
arc spin,
He
dude.
did
He
the
hit it with
spin.
the arc spin.
He
Did
did
the
hit it
spin.
with the arch spin. The release was great. Tight spiral. Didn't hit the
Great
rim.
form.
I had to
Great
like
form.
zoom. I was like, wait, is that Noah?
Great form.
That's awesome.
Great form. And Coach Napier, you see the gear that you sent over from UL. The XL was a little big for your boy. So a little hand-me-down to Noah, who is crushing our social media game and doing great work for us.
Yes.
As Noah and Jack and Katie are doing fantastic work for
Get
us
in
on
there every
social
now and
media. The live tweets will find their ways to a betting blog every now and
Every
again.
day. No attribution.
Yeah, right.
Katie is
Just some show.
I'm like, God, that's my tweet.
Yeah, right.
just got
And
Twitter.
it wasn't a Jinx tweet.
With a chair
It's a real
logo.
tweet.
Yeah, right. You got LSU coming out of Tennessee yet? How's our poll looking over there,
Stay
Noah?
tuned.
Oh, let's see here.
It's blowing up, I think, right?
Yeah, it's getting some good.
Tennessee is very much the Tennessee fan base is very much lurking on Baton Rouge territory.
Tennessee fan base is. Oh, Vitello's not going anywhere.
That you sound nervous already.
Until he's offered the job.
We've got 422 votes and 49% say Vitello.
Hey.
There you go.
Paisan.
And Bianco follows at 26%.
Another Paisan.
Hey.
But then there's a good number of comments talking
Others
Godwin and who's the other one? McDonald,
at Virginia?
Virginia, yeah.
Where did he come from?
Or
Where'd that
McDonald
name
from
get?
McDonald's from Louisville.
McDonald from Louisville.
Dan.
But they do have,
Dan McDowell?
let's see. There was somebody that said O'Connor at Virginia.
Yeah, O'Connor at Virginia.
It's Dan McDonald.
Yeah.
Dan McDonald.
McDonald from Louisville.
I just hope it's not Pat Casey, and that's nothing against Pat Casey.
Pat Casey has a whopping 4.7%.
So they're all voting with their
4.7%.
heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
4.7%. So the Caseys are inside of the of the app this morning voting.
I got a feeling he doesn't know how to use
burner
Twitter.
accounts.
I just don't know where it makes sense on Pat Casey.
The only thing that we said that it makes sense is if they're doing a grooming process where he comes in for 4 years and then you wait for the kind of Canna Zero to, oh, he's back.
I'm not trolling. I'm being serious. If you're going to think about giving Pat Casey the job for 5 years, bring Skip back. Like, I mean, if he's in play and we're thinking of a bridge situation and we just need to bridge the gap, now I know it'll never happen.
Right.
But I'm just saying, that would make as much sense as bringing Pat Casey in. You know what I mean?
Age isn't a problem.
If we're going off of somebody that you're going to have the same type of press conference in a minimum of 3 years, maximum of 5 years, well, then just hand it to the best coach of all time. You know what I mean? Let him figure it out.
Don't have to worry about mowing the grass at his house anymore.
That's right, boys. Yeah, I mean,
We're
Trey Morgan be on a ride along, Dylan Cruz be weed eating at Skip's house. I don't know, man. I wish I would have gotten Vitelli, man. I wish I would have gotten Casey. All right,
never looks better, boys.
That's right. Missed a spot. All right, thank you for everybody today. We're back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Go Chevrolet. Tell Lee and Nick that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.